Graphic-wise, North and South is based on the comic book series from Belgium, the Blue Boys, and that's why we have this comic look here in the game as well. And it was released by the French publisher Infogrames in 1989, especially for Atari and Amiga. What we are playing here is the DOS version that was less superior in the graphics. We start in 1861, that's the beginning of the war. We can choose the sides. Now the computer is on the right side and we take the Union. We deactivate all those things. I'm gonna show you them later on for a second, because I don't really like them. The forces are somehow equal, and that's the beginning when we choose 61. And we have 2 soldiers, and the southern troops are a little bit in advance because they can build the railroad track earlier. Like in the next step, he is gonna reach the red point, and this means that he has a railroad track. Without a railroad track, no money. And then there's this, what is the thing that we all played this for, and that are the battles. Because North and South, funny as it may seem, is one of the first real-time strategy games that there were. And you could command your troops here. It's a little bit tricky to command them because it's one after the other. You can't do like everything all at once, so you have to choose what you do. Now I've chosen to do the cannon, and then he has bombarded my infantry troops. And since we destroyed the bridge, there's only one way to go, and that's this little passage over the river. So even if you destroy a bridge, you can still do something. He has lost his army, but he has gained money because he has reached the fortress. The red dots are the fortresses. So that's what I must do on the next step, is to reach the fortress. And then, of course, to gain more land. Since there's no one there, I can go into any of those territories. I can even go to the southern one and just take it, because there's no troops and there's no fortress. So I don't have to do anything to conquer it. Then my train rolls and I get money as well. And normally you get 2, or later on, if you have more countries, 3. That's the common thing. And if you have enough countries, you get 4. Not exactly like 5 gold now. We can place the new unit. We have to buy it. There's no other option. You cannot say, I want to wait. We place it on a country we already have. And now his train is coming, and I can try to get his taxes by attacking the train. And this is by far the hardest thing to do, because you have to get on the train and then you have to get to the first wagon. And it's hard. The keyboard movement is, really, really hard. And then he sends out his soldiers. Like, left is the knives you have to throw, and right are his soldiers. But when you start with that, it's hard as hell. You will jump down all the times. But I have taken the land. So now I try to take his fortress, to break his taxes as well. You can either try to take the train or try to take the fortress. I tried to run away, but it doesn't work. I have to box him. And on the right side, you see the southern troops that are left. On the left side, you see the knives that I have. It's 4, and below you can see the shoe. That's how much distance is left, and the clock, how much time is left. And I managed to do it. Now he has joined his forces together for a larger army. So if you put the troops on the same field, you can do it. Or If you have troops on neighboring fields attacking one field, they will automatically join. So if you want to pass, just click on the date or the flag symbol below. You don't have to move with every of your soldiers. Now it's a hard time for him. He has to conquer this base, else he won't get any money anymore, and he will lose certainly after some time, even if you're not good at playing the battles. And we again at the battle. He has more troops and I have less. Of course, I decide to bomb the bridge, so he can't go over. He has lost the cavalry troops. The last cavalry unit that is coming here is from his reinforcements, because he has before joined together forces, and then they are not there all the time. They come one after the other. Now the cannon is fired, and I am trying to get over the bridge without being killed, at least with one unit, and I can destroy his artillery. And now it's a hard thing. 2 infantry, but he didn't, group them in a line, so I know they can't fire. And here above, the infantry reinforcements are coming. That's a little bit more dangerous because he can fire anytime. He can't group them in a line, in a backwards line. If he retreats, they will group in this backwards line, and it's done. Although I had less troops. So that was winning the game. And the hardest part is fiddling around with a keyboard in any of the things you do, in the mini games, whatever. This is really the pain factor and the frustration factor, why you have to do it over and over again. So let's try out 62. What is the difference? So I keep everything so that we can compare. And we see we have 3 troops and they have advanced already. And the southern troops have 2 train stations. So he has now 2 cannons here. Joint forces. That's of course enormous firepower. I managed to get his cavalry out of the saddle. Wow. And now I'm trying to destroy the cannons. 1. And there's a little path over the river, but it's way above. The thing way above. There we can go over the river without using the bridge. So it's only the infantry and the artillery left. Again, I try to get him here before. Yes, I have 1 infantry unit. He has 3. I try to fire before he makes this line. Now it's 2. Now it's up, down, up, down. I think you know the game. And this is more a game by chance, winning by chance. Who has more luck in fighting at or shooting at the right time? But already, since he had more cannons, and if you have 2 cannons in a squadron, they will show up. If you have 2 squadrons of cavalry, so 6 men, they will come as a reinforcement. Now he tries to get my fortress, and I have my troops up there, and he has the knives on the left side. It's opposite than normal. And you see the shoe. The shoe is where he is, and the clock again, how much time he has left. And it's just like up and down for getting them up or down, and the tap for throwing the knife or fighting. Wait for the right moment. When there's a gap in the wall, just put him in afterwards, because the computer may fall down and you can't control the soldier left, right. So he has put someone in the way of my train, tries to attack my train and to steal the money. So I just drop in my guys as often as I can and as often as I think they would make it. If you keep the clock in your eye, then you see he will not make it. It's very, very hard, this, even for the computer. Just drop in your guys. He will fall down any other moment from the train, and then there's no way. Now there's another territory, it's open field, and starting the cavalry is always the best thing here, just that you get them on riding. I have no cannons left, and so I do this attack on the infantry units, like going up and down with the swords, and I managed to get a lot of his troops shot or slashed by my cavalry. And now I try to get closer to shoot his cannon. And of course, his cavalry units are a danger for my infantryman. Now it's one-on-one. His cannon moved back, shot all the cannonballs. I have maybe the chance to win. Especially because I know he comes out next time, and shoot him right away. So this is hard, but since this is not a real depiction of real-time strategy in a way, you see, having less units makes it sometimes easier to control, and I have shot his whole squadron just with my cannon and one soldier. Now let's check out 63. This is the point where it starts to turn around. We have 4 troops, and as you see, the southern troops are not that far as they were, 62. So the Union has a little bit of an advantage. Let's try 64. This is the hardest starting point for the southern troops. So they have 3 and the Union has 4. And of course, the Union has more states on their side. It's even harder for the southern troops to win now. So if you want to have a little bit of stronger difficulty, then as the southern player, you start here. And then it's those 3 things you can put in and out. The manual calls them disasters. There are the Indians, they are sitting on the left side, and if you see smoke signals, they will soon attack. Normally the army that is nearby. And when there's a storm, your army that is in this territory cannot be moved. Then there is the Mexican on the left as well. He's there when the Indians are there. If he is woken from his siesta, he will throw a bomb on Texas, killing any army there. And the last is not a disaster, it's European reinforcements. The side who owns South Virginia will receive a ship carrying reinforcements. The game was a huge success, and still today it is fun to play. Although getting the keyboard commands right is the hard thing. You know, this is what really makes it hard for every player. If you're not used to it from the times you have played it before, then believe me, it's frustratingly hard to get on with it, because you will lose every battle and again. But that's the way we learned it back then. Exactly the same, start it over, and then you have to try to get away with the keyboard. Today this is not a game that I would be playing for a very long time, because winning is not that hard if you can handle it. This means today, for half an hour of nostalgia, this is a fine thing, but since the battles are the most important gameplay element, it gets repetitive very, very soon, because the things, the strategies, the tactics, whatever, the movements are very, very limited.